Welcome back to Reality Redemption. As always, I'm Snow, short for Snowflake, with my co-host, MJ, and we have a special guest today, Iris. We will be discussing... We will be discussing... Hello. We will be discussing conspiracy theories today. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yes, and we'll also be talking about how to properly speak into a microphone. So Iris may have to be a little bit louder there.
Mine always is. I always need help with that.
But before we get to that, let's discuss this situation that happened this week with Cannon Hinnant, the 5-year-old in North Carolina that got shot. And it's a horrific story.
Yes, very sad, tragic story.
And he got shot by a black man, and within 24 hours, an APB was put out on the suspect. He was captured. He is behind bars. He will be denied bail, and most likely he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. But what was it on Facebook? I got up on Facebook that day, looked, and I'm scrolling through it, and all it was justice for Cannon. Say his name.
And also White Lives Matter, with him, the poster boy, in the center of their meme.
Right.
There was that too.
And the thing is, would you ever go under that post? Would you ever reply, no, all kids' lives matter?
No. Would you go say that to his parents? Sorry, but all kids matter.
Definitely not. So I don't mean to laugh here, because it's not a funny story at all. But it seems like
no, it's not.
Some people are hijacking that.
Yeah, and story. That was like an uncomfortable laugh, because I'm like, I don't know how these same people have the balls to just always throw in the all lives matter stuff when talking about things. It's like, nope, we're supposed to say this.
Right. Say his name. They're not saying all lives matter. They're saying, Cannon's life matter, which of course it does. Of course.
So does that mean that maybe now they're understanding it?
No. What they're trying to do is detract from the Black Lives Matter, because in the same memes they will put George Floyd. He was a convict. He was a drug addict.
A porn star. So, and it's almost like they do the split screen thing to say, this one here is the life that we should care about, the little boy. And this one, why are people caring about this one? That's what I'm seeing in my own feed.
In reality,
like in the people who have posted that.
And not detracting from this story, because it is terrible. But kids are murdered every day. And it's just because it was a white boy murdered by a black man. So that means you're detracting from the situation of Black Lives Matter. And that's what it's about. And
especially if we went into all the whataboutism on that one. Like they always go into the whataboutism on take your pick on any of the cases.
Yeah, and if I was this kid's parents and I was seeing all these posts and where they're putting pictures of my kid, I'd be kind of mad for them, using for a political agenda, rather than, it's all...
They've made him the poster boy for this.
Right.
They have made that little kid the poster boy for this.
Right, and I don't
for
know.
The anti-BLM.
And I don't know what's out there. I don't know what the parents' political views are. But they do have a GoFundMe page for his funeral, because funerals will cost a lot. So why don't these people go out and do something positive for a change? Why don't they go out, donate to the GoFundMe, rather than just detract from this one situation, the Black Lives Matter? Let's do something positive to remember this kid.
Exactly. Or they could also call their member of Congress, because they are that adamant about how upset they are about this case. Get on the phone, call your member of Congress. The number is 202-224-3121, and you put in your zip code. It will pull up your senators and your House of Representatives. I call it all the time. On different issues.
Very impressive.
On different issues. get on the horn and demand that there are stricter gun laws in place so that this never happens to another little white boy ever again.
Right.
You know? Let's do this, folks.
At the same time, during Sandy Hook, you didn't see the same people posting pictures of the little kids. I know I personally did.
Mm-hmm.
I chose, there was one,
I wasn't on Facebook then, but yes.
There was one really heartbreaking story about one particular kid, and I put that kid's picture up, and I said her name. I was like, because this isn't going to get out there. This is what her name is. But in those situations where there's a mass shooting, and they will just go out there and they will be like, they won't say, oh, these poor kids. They'll just be like, well, you ain't going to take my guns.
Yeah.
This is an AR-15. An AR-15 doesn't stand for an assault rifle. And relax, I'm not going after guns in this particular case, but I don't know. There's stuff to be outraged by every day. And I was outraged by this story, but you can be mad about several different things. You don't need to tie it into Black Lives Matter.
These people were not at all outraged about Sandy Hook, the people who are sitting here doing this, because, and we'll go into this, I'm sure, in a little bit, because Alex Jones has a lot to do with that one, saying that the whole thing was fake and a hoax, that Sandy Hook never really happened. So...
Right. Yeah, he's the absolute worst, We'll have him on hold here, because, we'll have some Alex Jones here.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
No kidding.
We can all agree on that one. Hey, Alex chiming in here. He must have ripped the phone away from Trump, because usually we have Trump listening in on this. Now we got Alex Jones.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
All right,
Do you
Alex.
understand that?
Yes, sir, Alex.
How can he even say that without laughing? I mean, I can't say anything on this show without laughing, usually.
All right, so that gets us to conspiracy theories. Now, I'm going to start off with one conspiracy theory that I believe to be true.
Wait a second. I wanted to make one more point about the whole using deaths for political agendas.
I've got one too.
Pat Tillman. We live in Arizona. Lots of people here are Arizona Cardinal fans. I have people in my family that have done this ever since the whole Kaepernick thing, and saying this is what a real patriot looks like. This is a real patriot football player and everything. Pat Tillman's family, if you watch the documentary on Pat Tillman, had asked that they did not use his death for any political agenda either way. That is how some families do feel about not wanting their dead loved ones used for poster boys of certain agendas. So there's that.
Ironically, when you're killed by friendly fire, also.
Right, yeah, and there's that could even be considered a bit of a conspiracy there. I don't want to try to make up one, but there's weird circumstances with that case too.
And Iris, your point was?
Yeah, because of the whole conspiracy thing, but if you go back to Cannon and George, a lot of the people that I don't want to follow, but I do, have said that George Floyd was a setup from the beginning. So that's a conspiracy theory right there. The same people are saying that Cannon was, murdered because he was white. And do you think that they're going to take that same sort of theory that they did with George and put it towards Cannon? No, they're not. They're like, no, this wasn't a setup. This really happened. Okay, so what happened to George really happened too. And you remember, with the justice for George and the justice for Cannon, you basically have to remember that there is so much more going on, including mental health. So that's a big one right there. How about, hey, let's do more about mental health, okay? That'll save some kids, right?
Right. I mean, we don't know anything about this case, like the reasoning, the motive or anything about with the little boy. But it's like, obviously, if someone shoots a 5-year-old in the head, there is something mentally
When they were
not
next
right
door
with
neighbors
that
for
person.
8 years and had beer on the porch
Right.
the night before, something else is going on.
Something, and that is not an excuse. I mean,
Right.
this person should be prosecuted,
Right.
but there is something mentally off with
Right.
somebody that does that.
Right.
I mean, that's why if we had healthcare in this country, I don't know, maybe this wouldn't have never happened. And maybe it still would have. Who knows?
Well, and like Michael said at the beginning, you see a lot of justice for Cannon when, he was arrested that, following Monday? And
Right.
he's got
There
no
was
bond.
like a national manhunt
Yep,
out for
an
this
APB.
guy.
And no bond, first-degree murder. Like you said, he's done for. But we're still waiting on results for George.
Or
For a
even
lot of-
Breonna Taylor.
Exactly.
Who they have not been able to find any dirt on to villainize.
Exactly.
Like, except for maybe, I'm sure there's people who talk about her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, and how ridiculous would it be, to put in perspective, is, okay, this kid was kicked out of preschool or something else. What if you, not like you're going to find dirt on a 5-year-old, but, I mean, it's the same equivalence. It's somebody was murdered, so why are you digging into the past?
Right, it's ridiculous. It'd be like if the left dug up information and said, well, the 5-year-old called him the N-word, so that's why he had to do it. No one would do that and say that. No one.
Right.
So back to the conspiracies, and one thing that was going on that is kind of conspiracy is the post office, which was a huge story this week.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I kind of like doing that now.
I should pull up the theme song on my phone here. But what you had going on this week is the post office is being defunded. Now they're saying it's because post office loses money, which is true, but it has for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But the real thing is that you come up to election time, and now they're saying that the post office isn't going to be able to handle all the mail-in ballots.
And that's where you have the motive.
Yeah.
Okay, because how is it that the post office is able to handle so many Christmas cards at Christmas time? There's also been another theory, though, that, the post office can only handle so much weight. And those ballots would be okay to be, mailed out. But once you get that ink on them and everything, and, maybe the spit from licking the letters closed, that maybe they'd make them too heavy and they just can't handle that. I don't know.
Hey, does that mean, though, defunding the post office, does that mean Trump is trying to cancel Christmas this year? Because how are we going to get the Christmas cards?
That bastard!
Son of a bitch. At least
Then
the liberals were trying to cancel
But
Christmas.
then, so now will this be turned into why we need to cancel Christmas? Because isn't there always a thing about a war on Christmas? So now are they going to say, but we need a war on Christmas? The same people who used to say, there's a war on Christmas, are now going to be saying, no, we need a war on Christmas. Is this our lives now?
Well, to begin with, doesn't like 70 or 80%?
They hate Starbucks for this reason, right? The war on Christmas.
Yeah. Happy holidays.
No, you're attacking my holiday.
Hey, all holidays matter. All right, so post office. So it's 70 or 80% of Arizona already does mail-in voting. I have done it for years.
What? I'm gonna stop you right there.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna stop you right there because this was brought up earlier. You are not allowed to call it mail-in voting, okay? Because they cannot distinguish between absentee voting and mail-in voting, which is basically the same premise,
Well,
okay?
Absentee voting is okay because he does
Absentee
it.
voting is what Trump and the Trump family used to vote in the election, okay? But see, this is where we gotta beat them at their own game. We need to start saying that the entire country needs to go for absentee
Okay.
ballots and voting this
Absentee-
November. Okay, folks, get the word out. We need to call this absentee voting because they are okay
I
with
got it.
that one.
I just
Don't call it mail-in because that one is bad.
I came up with the perfect hashtag. Absentee balloting matters.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, as long as you throw that in, that will work.
Justice for absentee ballots.
Yes. Say its
Say
name.
my ballot.
Say its name right. Say it. Absentee voting.
Okay, and so on that note, from 2000 to 2014, they did a study, and out of 1 billion votes, they found 31 cases of voter fraud at 1 billion votes.
Oh my gosh, I know of one specific one, and it was, I think, an ex-Congress person. Gosh, I cannot remember his name for the life of me, but I'm pretty sure it was in North Carolina. And he got in trouble because he tried to use a UPS store address to do his voting and got busted. I think he actually...
Is that Steve Watkins?
Yes, that would be exactly who that is.
You're quick.
Quick on the draw, Iris. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yes.
Hey Iris, was there any news about the missing turtle?
No, I kind of gave up on that. I don't really feel like I need to be calling every single animal sanctuary in LA or West Hollywood or anywhere, really.
And also, we still have to be careful. Remember cancel culture from last time.
Yeah, it's just a turtle.
We
okay?
can only talk about certain things.
When I have the
Oh.
momentum, I'll go and I'll look for turtle because I am
Wonder-
curious actually, but not curious enough yet.
I wonder if. All right. Hopefully the lawyers don't hear that part. All right. So the conspiracy theories, the big thing now is QAnon.
Cute.
So-
Dun dun dun.
QAnon is supposedly the followers. There's this mysterious person called Q.
Yes.
Who is exposing that between the government and the Hollywood elite, there's this huge pedophile ring.
Who Marjorie Taylor Greene is a
Marjorie Taylor
huge
Greene.
fan of.
Who
Q
will,
is a patriot. I'm quoting her. Q is a patriot. That is a true patriot right there. No one knows who Q is, but he is a patriot.
Did you see her campaign ad where she's got a big sniper rifle and she's blowing up signs?
No, I still didn't see that one, but they kept playing clips of her where she was talking about how, oh my gosh, she went on so many topics. One about how white men are the real victims here. That's why I was like, this woman is every white guy's wet dream. I mean,
Her husband must be brutal.
oh my gosh, can you imagine?
But she sits there with a sniper rifle blowing up a sign of socialism.
Oh, okay. Now I want to watch it.
Which a sniper rifle isn't going to blow up a sign to
Which-
begin with.
It's crazy how she used, like, would that be considered, I don't want to piss off any of the Second Amendment or the guns people. Would that be considered a military grade weapon or not? Because I know I get in trouble if I say things about the AR-15.
No, this one did look military grade, but you know.
Okay,
who knows?
so the military is literally our biggest socialist program in the United States. So why would she do that? Marjorie, are you there? Can you answer that?
Yeah, Marjorie.
A little ironic.
Oh, Marjorie, but she'll be in Congress this fall, and
Mhm.
there's a lot of people who are embracing QAnon. Who's the
And they
guy?
got one elected.
Who's the guy that just got off? He was prosecuted for lying to Congress, and this was during the Russian investigation, but they let him go. And he's a QAnon guy.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know I should.
It's not Gosar, because Gosar's still in there, but he's got to be a
Yeah, he's gotta be
QAnoner too.
QAnon.
I mean, his family even says that about him.
Roger Stone.
Roger
Roger Stone's gotta be QAnon.
Roger Stone. No, Roger Stone would be like, I'm going to make up Stonin' on. Like, he's got to have his own brand on everything.
Well, he got, what did he do? He didn't get pardoned. What do they call it?
Commuted.
Oh, yeah. It's
Which,
commuted.
dun, dun, dun. Wait for the pardon, though. The commuted is the first step. There will be a pardon granted to Mr. Stone. Mark my words.
Well, you're the one who turned me on to that documentary. Who was Roger? Get me Roger Stone. That's what
Yes.
Get me
Okay.
Roger Stone.
I watched it because I was like casually browsing my Netflix, and I'm like, oh, a Republican documentary, because it has the elephant on there. And I'm like, I need to watch this because I need to listen to what the other side has to say. So I do want to see this. I want to know, like, be open to all discussions, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I didn't like what I heard. It made me hate the guy even more.
He's basically the one who created dirty politics. And he freely admitted it.
Yeah, he started the whole locker up like thing, and he talks about it in the documentary. He's all proudly chanting it.
Well, even before that, didn't he was talking about elections at school, and he'd be in the lunchroom.
Oh yeah,
and starting rumors about the one kid against the other.
Oh yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing. I mean, he knows how to play politics.
Yeah. In this documentary, he freely admits to creating lies about other candidates, so to swing it. Just
right.
like the new thing this week was Kamala Harris was announced as Biden's VP pick, and immediately they started with the birtherism. Oh, she can't possibly be vice president because that means she'll be president, and you cannot be president if your parents are immigrants, which is totally false. She was born in Oakland, California.
Right. I mean, for some of these folks, it's like, do they think that any black people are born in the United States?
I was going to say, can we just say it's because she's black?
I don't know how else to say this. I'm like, they do know how black people got here, right? So they would be born here.
Well, I mean, I guess if your ancestors can't be immigrants, that would disqualify almost everybody.
The whole nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, it's just another thing, like windmills cause cancer.
Yeah, maybe Trump will get Sheriff Joe on the case to go hunt down her birth certificate.
Well,
he
needs
don't
something
know.
to do because he lost his election.
Yeah, he's looking for work. He didn't win. I can't even believe he ran again. And thank you to Maricopa County for being smarter. It was very close. I hate to say that, but you pulled it through, gal.
I thought he got in. I thought like the day before I was like, oh no, he's gonna win.
They had to take a few extra days to tally things up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because we didn't know that he actually got defeated until a few days later.
All right, so back to conspiracies. What other wacky conspiracies have we heard lately? We were supposed to have another guest on today, and this guest is sort of buys into the conspiracies. Well, not buys in, but she thinks there's something to it, which there could be in certain cases.
Here's the thing. Like, conspiracies are interesting, and a lot of them are entertaining. It's not bad to discuss them. It's just some people, they kind of go off the ledge with it. That's
right. Like the one that I sort of buy into is the JFK one.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird shit behind that one.
Yeah, and just be like, well, a bolt action rifle from that distance, and he was that good of a shot. Maybe, but that was one hell of a shot.
Yeah, and if you watch like the documentaries on it, they always just end up confusing me even more. I mean, they'll tell both sides, but I'm like, I don't know what to believe,
Was it the mobs or was it Russia.
Well, I definitely think that the mob had something to do with it because it's mob style. Like they do things in broad daylight on purpose to make you know. Like they want people to know what's.
Have you seen or read the Kennedy Curse book?
Oh,
The Curse of the
about
Kennedys.
I've
Entire
heard about it,
family history and just everyone dies.
I know
Everyone dies or they get their brains sucked out, and it's insane. This is all factual stuff. This is literally just their family history, and it's like, hold on, like it's huge.
Yeah,
it's a very tragic family.
And there is like a weird conspiracy just about their family because like there's some story in the Bible, and I don't know. I'm not a good Catholic girl. I haven't actually read the Bible.
I'm the daughter of a pastor, so I'll help you
I
out
need
here.
I need like the Bible for Dummies edition. Okay, like just give me the Cliff Notes. Okay, do I really want to know a lot of that stuff? No, because I mean, even recently hearing the story about is it Abraham or whatnot who had to like kill his own family. I'm like, all right, that's even enough for me right there. God telling me has to. I'm like, what? It's kind of like, why do people idolize this guy? I mean,
yeah.
He's a bit of a dick.
It was supposed to show the sacrifice and how God was much more important than his own family. And it's like, if that were to happen today, that would not fly whatsoever. And it's sickening at the same time because, like you said, people idolize him. But it's like, would you, like, if your husband, like, just picked up your kid and was like, hey, God said I have to go and sacrifice him like a lamb, and I'm going to go up there and do it. I mean, hey, props on him for having great insight and a great connection with God, but I don't think God would really ask you to do that. Right? Sorry, I think, yeah.
No God right. That I would want to follow,
no.
I would not want him to ask that. This does need to be another show for like the religion talk.
We need to get your friend
Father Ben and Snelling, because those are polar opposites.
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah, that wouldn't be brutal.
Yeah.
I do have something else to say about the Kennedys, though. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is doing the QAnon stuff as well.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
From the grave?
I don't know. Who's that?
Robert
Junior?
F. Kennedy Jr.
Oh, the junior.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he's a QAnon.
I don't know, but what bums me out because he's got Ron Paul's symbol at the bottom, and I didn't know that they were affiliated like that. Interesting.
So RFK Jr. is like that would make him like a libertarian then, huh?
He's not necessarily like putting the title of QAnon on it, but he's basically backing up everything that they say.
The family has got to be.
I'm telling you.
Oh, how did we not? Because that is a Democratic family.
He doesn't have
there.
any family. They're all dead now, so.
JFK Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was once. I went to go see Don Henley in Boston, and it was one of Walden Woods concerts, and somehow I got tickets down front, and I'm sitting there. It's like 1989 or so, and I realized that I'm surrounded by Kennedys.
No way.
Yeah, and I'm like looking at like, hey.
Was JFK Jr. there?
No, this was fortunately after the plane crash.
Oh.
But the Kennedys are looking at me like, oh, who's this guy? And I'm just like, I'm looking at them like, obviously starstruck. I'm like, oh, look, that's so-and-so Kennedy.
Were you like, can I get your autograph?
No, I wasn't like that. I was trying to be cool.
I would have.
No, but I was just like, come on. Then I was once in D.C. and I saw Teddy Kennedy giving a speech on the steps of the Capitol building, which was kind of cool. But this Secret Service was just like eyeballing me because it was all press. I'm just like walking up. I'm like, hey. And then,
well, yeah, people have had to have had like bets on that one for years, like because the curse of threes or whatever. Like when is, and Teddy was a bit reckless. Like
yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. God, I have a Teddy Kennedy story that I cannot tell on this podcast. Man.
Yeah, we already have legal troubles.
I've got so much of these stories. And I can't say it. All right, so
would you be able to turn it into a conspiracy and then say it?
How long has he been dead for?
Has it been like about 5 years?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's something around that.
All right. I mean, maybe I guess I can say it. I mean, allegedly.
There you go. You can say things if you use allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah, allegedly. Do you remember me telling the story about the girlfriend I flew out here from Boston on the last episode?
The one,
who was into drugs.
the hot mess one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember that.
Well, allegedly, according to her, is that Ted Kennedy was her sugar daddy.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but this person was wacky, so you don't know what you can believe.
Yeah, but
I heard that story. But she had been telling that story for years, and it took her about 20 years for her to tell me who the name was.
Well, she's wacky, but also the Kennedy boys are kind of known for their
promiscuous
lifestyle.
Yeah.
So it could be true.
Yeah.
Which he died in 2009, it says.
That would be a conspiracy theory that I would entertain. I would want to hear that. We can't talk right now, Mr. President.
I think it's Alex trying to chime back in. Maybe that's her. She's like listening live going, I told you not to talk about that.
You should say, hey, I said allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Oh, the Kennedys. I guess I'm fortunate that he never took a car ride with her over a river,
Or if I was her, I'd have been like, I will Uber and meet you places. Or I guess it would be cabs back then, but you're like, you don't need to drive me anywhere, sir.
Do you think anybody jumped in a car with Teddy Kennedy again after that?
I would hope. I wouldn't have.
All right, yeah. So this is what we call off-roading here.
Pun intended?
Yeah, unintended. Well, yeah, that is a conspiracy, though. Did my ex date Ted Kennedy? Which I feel pretty impressed. I'm like, what? Hey, I got to follow a Kennedy.
Don't catch the curse.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, believe me, I have. It's just my mess. It's my life.
Are we going to talk about Pizzagate?
Oh,
a big one.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
Look at Iris getting us back on track.
Sorry.
I know.
Off-roading.
Sometimes we need to be pulled back in the right direction. Yeah.
Yes, because that's where we left off. Was Pizzagate, which is tied into the QAnon, and all the Hollywood liberal elite are involved with this.
Yes. Huge sex trafficking scandal through a pizza parlor, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys happen to watch the documentary called, it was, I gotta think about it, it was on Netflix, and it was...
The Epstein one?
No, it was about, you remember that news story where that pizza delivery guy had the bomb strapped to his neck and he went to a bank and asked for money? He goes to the bank and he asks for money, and the cops come. They sit him down next to the police cruiser, and there's a video you can watch of it actually. And he's telling him, he's like, no, this bomb's gonna go off, like it's gonna go off, like I'm gonna die, and he blows up right in front of them. And the documentary is pretty crazy because it was a heist that was, I guess, allegedly run by a woman, and she had other counterparts that helped with this, and she to this day swears that she had nothing to do with it, but supposedly this guy was in on it too, the pizza delivery driver, and they're saying it kind of stems back to that whole thing
I gotta watch
Pizzagate.
that.
It's pretty crazy. It's called,
so they're saying that they're tying this guy into
they don't do it so
Pizzagate?
They don't do it so much in the documentary as far as Pizzagate goes, but they kind of hint towards it You know what I mean? And that's one thing I like about documentaries is when they can let you decide on your own. Like, okay, here's what happened, here's the facts, here's what these people were tied into, but...
Or is that maybe why it got the name Pizzagate? Because
I'll have to
of
look
that
at that
story?
That's what I thought, because when I first heard Pizzagate, I was like, now everyone's talking about Pizzagate, but I just thought it was like a money heist thing.
I had no idea the Clintons were in on pizza, into the pizza business. I mean, what?
But no, isn't Pizzagate because there's a pizza place in Washington, D.C. that they allegedly were running a sex trafficking ring out of the back room on it.
And their menu items were all like pedo names, kind of like Little Boy Blues Pizza, or weird stuff like that.
I suppose that could happen because I had friends that owned a Chiba Hut, and they usually are situated near a college.
A Chiba Hut?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's subs, and each of their names, craftily, are named after different types of weed.
I love
That's why they are near colleges. Yeah. My friends own the one in southern Arizona, we'll just call it, but you're near that university. Because I don't want to, so much of the law stuff, I don't know what I should say on here.
You just say allegedly before you say anything.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, so Pizzagate. So apparently Hillary Clinton is involved with the Pizzagate. I wonder where Epstein falls in with this. I was watching the documentary.
Hello, he's been on Epstein's Island, so it all makes perfect sense.
On Epstein's Island.
They order pizza and then they hop on a plane.
And then they go to that place in Florida.
Oh my God, I just realized.
With the pizza, because they need something to eat too.
I know, but I just realized where we got our pizza today. Naked City Pizza.
Naked City because it's
God.
Vegas, though. It's Vegas.
Naked.
It is
the word
Naked City.
naked, and they're probably part of it.
Oh, God.
Oh, come on.
Are we stretching yet?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what you do.
That's what you're supposed to do with conspiracies.
Just make this stuff up.
You're supposed to stretch it. Okay.
Well, I mean, that goes back to, you know what Occam's hammer is? Do you know what the theory of that is?
I forget.
I do not.
Okay. So when you talk about conspiracies, you have two explanations of an event. Okay, and Occam's hammer is, in most cases, the simplest explanation is the correct one.
Okay.
Like 9/11. Let's take that as an example. Okay, was it the simple fact, and Bill Burr got in trouble for saying this.
Maybe say allegedly before then.
Allegedly. Well, no, I know Bill Burr did get in trouble for this, not allegedly.
No, I mean, but before you repeat it, I don't want you to get in trouble like Bill Burr got in trouble. That's what I mean.
Who's going to fire me? I'm in charge of this.
I know.
And we have no sponsors.
Yeah, nobody's hired us.
We barely have listeners at this point.
I know. We have 3, okay?
One of them sing here.
Okay.
So, do you go with the fact, the simple fact is, people simply hijacked a plane with box cutters, and they learned how to fly, but they didn't learn how to land. So they knew how to fly a plane, they didn't know how to land. So you take a box cutter, and it was brilliant in how simple it is. You hijack the plane, you get behind the steering of the plane in the cockpit, and you crash it into a building. Now, is that easier to explain, or is it a huge government conspiracy that the Bush was behind it, and then what would you have to do? Okay, it really wasn't a plane, it was a missile that hit the buildings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, that's not what brought the buildings down. It was explosives.
No, yeah, they
the
said
bottom.
that it was set up throughout the building, and
in the building.
That's why they all went.
That's
supposedly.
what the conspiracy is on that one.
Right, but do you know how many people it would take to get behind that? Now, first of all, if it was that, what happened to the people on the plane? Where did those people go to? If that was the case. If it wasn't a plane that crashed into the buildings that brought it down, because they're saying
I think they're saying it's
Right.
a combination, though, aren't they? They're saying that the people. Well, no, because there was those ones that.
yeah.
I thought they were saying that they had
say
to
the video
fly
was
the
fake.
they had to fly the planes in there though
To set off the
make it look
explosions?
like that was the cause,
Right.
but then so they could explode or implode it or whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've heard several different theories.
There's so
on
many.
I know. The only thing I will say about the 9/11 conspiracies, the thing that has to do with like Building 7 is weird. I mean,
It
that
is
part is
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
That it's
Yeah,
weird.
but I had a friend, and she had moved up to New Hampshire at the time, and she was from Long Island. Her dad was a New York City firefighter. So she had gone down, she moved back to Long Island to be with her dad, and her dad had her dad's best friend was one of the firefighters who died that day.
Mm-hmm.
So she went back down there to be firefighter family, to be there to support the firefighters. So I actually was able to go down to Ground Zero
Ooh.
about 2 months afterwards, and it was still smoking at the time.
I can't even imagine that.
Yeah, the smell was just horrific. Smoke was horrific. Just a real bad thing. And this was a weird thing about that is that night we had gone back to her house, we're hanging out, and a couple of firefighters came over to hang out with us and just talk. And they were talking like, hey, how was your day at work? Oh, my day's kind of sucked. We found the rookie that, had the locker next to me. We found his body that day. And they said it so matter of fact. And I was just like, wow, this story's getting too heavy for me. I don't want to sit here and cry.
Right.
I don't want to cry in
I
front of
know.
New York firefighters.
I know.
And I walked into the kitchen, and I looked at her little digital clock on the stove, and the time was 9/11.
Ugh.
I was like, ugh.
Have you heard of Pete Davidson?
Yeah.
He's the comedian.
Yeah, I love people.
His dad passed away. He was a firefighter and he passed away in 9/11.
Oh yeah, the new movie.
Yes.
Yeah,
Did you
have
watch
Have you
it?
seen that?
Yeah.
Yes. It was
King of Staten
so
Island?
good. It was so
He-
good.
No,
I-
he's a little wacky himself.
But
I
that's
know,
that's
he
the best
was-
part about him.
I know, and it's like I felt bad for him in the movie, but I really liked Bill Burr was the shit
Oh,
in the movie.
I know, I love Bill Burr.
That was
Bill
so
Burr.
good. Yes.
Once
You said-
I should not be
you-
calling him Bill
You
Burr.
said the Attorney General's name.
That's because that's the name.
I knew who you were
hear all
talking
the time.
about.
My deepest, sincerest apologies to Bill Burr. I wouldn't,
He was
sir.
good.
I would never.
Bill, he used to live near me when I lived in Massachusetts, and there's a Chinese restaurant that had a comedy connection upstairs. And if we would have ever made it to Boston, I was going to take you to this because it's the best Chinese food.
We're going
anywhere.
when all this crap's over. We're still going. I've got to. That's on my bucket list. The Dropkick Murphy thing.
So there was a little comedy club upstairs, and I met Bill Burr, and he was just starting to get big at the time, but he's just super nice guy. And then a few months later, this was after Bill was on Breaking Bad. Remember him?
Oh,
I was
yeah.
gonna just say Bill Burr.
Bill Burr was on Breaking Bad.
Bill Burr he is a really good actor. I
is.
loved him on Breaking
and
Bad.
his buddy who opened the show, Joe DeRosa, is on Better Call Saul. He plays the veterinarian on Better Call
What?
Saul. So I went to see him,
cool.
and they were doing this meet and greet after, and I went up, shook hands with Bill, and Joe was standing behind him, and I was like, "Hey, DeRosa, I loved you on the opening of the show the other day." And Joe was just like, "Oh, somebody's giving me attention." So then I ended up leaving there. I'm walking down the street with Joe DeRosa shooting the shit, and then years later, he's on Better Call Saul. But he goes to stop at the there's an Irish pub right next to the comedy club. And he's just like, "Hey, why don't you come in with me?" And I'm just like, "Nah, I gotta work the next day." And I'm like, "All right, hey, nice to meet you, Joe."
You're so lame.
The next morning, both of them call into the Opie and Anthony show, talking about what a wild night they had that night in Boston. I was like, I could have been there.
You're so lame. You should have gone out.
Yeah,
I'm going to say something. So we were talking about conspiracy theories and Pizzagate, but just how this conversation has developed, that's the same way that conspiracies develop. It just goes on and on and on and on. And it's like,
just
hey,
adding more stuff.
We're just gonna go with it, and then we're gonna call it facts, you know.
Yes.
But hey, at least we're having a good time,
right?
Do you know a few months ago, I like had said somebody, there was something about conspiracy theories, and I had like typed out something. Oh yeah, it was about the 5G towers were causing COVID.
Oh geez,
Yeah.
Where did that one go?
Isn't that the one that, I won't say her name, but the councilwoman here like believed in?
County person? Well,
Council.
No. Yeah.
Councilwoman?
Yeah, her.
That we don't need to say her name or anything, but we don't want more legal troubles, okay? But she kept making posts about that. Like Bill Gates is involved, and there's like microchips that they're trying to implant into people. Yeah, she's a Q. She believes that Q is a true patriot.
Microchips in our masks.
Yeah.
That one went away quickly, though.
Well, because Facebook actually, for once, pulled it. They were doing the warning where it said, like, this content has been proven to not be factual. So then people, I mean, at that point, they're embarrassed. They're not going to post it.
You said
after
Facebook
that.
fact check?
Yeah.
Well, like my MIL, she's like, oh, Facebook fact check is false. So is Snopes. All this is false. It's run by this corporation. It's run by that corporation. No fact check is correct. And right or wrong, it's like,
So she even thinks like factcheck.org is fake too?
Oh yeah. So I'm like, where are you getting your information and where are you cross-referencing things? I don't understand, because all I see is her on Facebook 24/7. Repost.
Well, and the saddest
That's not
thing
facts.
is if you want to find anything, like, you can find it. You can find anything to
That's what
go
I like
to what
to do.
what you want
Right.
to, like. Right. If you want to find facts, you can find them. But if to their thing, if they want to find an article that coincides with,
they're gonna find that.
they're gonna find that
Yeah.
too. You can find anything you want, like,
to back
that's
yourself up. Or
like,
in theory.
seriously, can we go back to the Walter Cronkite days where
Yeah.
we just got our news told to us?
Yeah. That's the way
I don't
it is.
want to live in the Anchorman days
Nice.
anymore. I don't want to do this.
Nice calming voice. Just, hey, here's what's going on. 30
Sir,
minutes,
I
that's
realize
it.
this is gonna be boring, and that's why I have like action movies for excitement stuff. I just want to know what's really happening.
I know, and I like how the news always ended it with like a good story, like a nice little happy story about a kitten or something like that.
Yeah, now you turn in, it's like, this person was killed, this person was shot, this. No facts, nothing. It's just all negative. It's all upsetting.
I mean, I have to research stuff on my own side. I mean, stuff that I would, be like, yes, I would like to believe that, but I'm like, is that really true?
Yeah. If I see a story, I'm like, yeah, is that true? I go to 2 or 3 different articles to be like, all right, is this looks like it's really happening?
And I am sick of doing all this research. I have a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
I have a more than a full-time job. I have an overtime job. I don't have time to sit there and, like, research stuff,
Well,
like, to
people don't.
figure out what... that's the whole plan.
My argument is to some of these people is like, well, I have a meme generator on my phone. I can like meme anything.
Yeah.
Does that make it true?
I've made a couple of memes. They're fun. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it though when like somebody posts something and they're like, this person right here is the reason that COVID started and this and that, and then you go and you actually look it up and you're like, no, that's like the librarian from down the street. Like, well, who the hell are you posting about and talking about? It's just something that you saw and it's something you're like, I want to get on this bandwagon.
And disclaimer, the meme that I made was true. We really did have a toast to Bill O'Reilly getting fired
Oh my
from
God,
Fox
did that
News.
start?
That
Shit.
was true.
Yeah, we were up in Vegas, and it was after Godsmack show. I was there with my nephew, so we went out because we were going to go see Bernie Sanders the next day.
We did go
We
see
did.
Bernie
We
Sanders
see Bernie
speak
Sanders
the next day. And it was awesome.
But Bill O'Reilly got fired, and I had one friend that was not too happy about that post.
Oh, yeah, he was.
I'm kind of confused. What I forgot. What happened again? Because I think I saw something, but I don't remember what happened with
Why
Bill.
did he get fired?
Yeah, why did he get fired again?
I think it was
sexual
sexual misconduct
Allegedly.
because he is in the Bombshell movie.
Right.
Also, he's not like the main target of that movie because the main one is Roger Ailes and all the creepy shit he did to the gals that got hired at Fox News. But yeah,
wow.
I'm pretty sure that's why he got.
So.
I mean, he's had other troubles before that. There was the whole thing between his personal affairs with his wife, or I don't know if she's now his ex-wife, but spousal abuse or something like that.
Was he the same one that? I don't think it was him, but there was an anchor.
You can also watch. Bill O'Reilly used to be on A Current Affair. There's a good, if you want to hear how he talks to employees, like what was supposed to be off camera but was being recorded.
This actually
he's
brought up
not a nice person. He's like,
is he the same one though that there was a celebrity? Oh, it was Anne Hathaway. No, I don't think it was him, but Anne Hathaway was there, and there was that whole thing of like where like her dress got swept up in the wind and like you could see like her panties a little bit, and he was basically sitting there asking her if she was ashamed of herself and saying like, what would you do to prevent this, and blah blah blah. She was like, fuck you, like the paparazzi came after me. Who was that?
That might have been him, but he is the one that on Jenna Jameson's E! True Hollywood Story thing, she said that he invited her on the show to talk about her porn career because conservatives don't necessarily, they watch porn, but they don't necessarily, they wanted to shame her basically.
Yeah.
They wanted to shame her.
Yeah.
So he was sitting there shaming her, and then she goes, yeah, and then after the cameras weren't rolling, he asked if he could get copies of some of my films. So
yeah. It might have been him, it might have been someone else, but I remember watching this going, like, I was so proud of Anne Hathaway because I was like, she composed herself so well, but she was like, you could see like on her face, like she's like, whoa, 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 like you're putting me on the spotlight and blaming me because the paparazzi is up in my coochie? No.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, there was a long time there where they were always doing the vagina cams on celebrities, like trying to get out of their expensive
and then belittle them because, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The same friend that tied us all back into Epstein again, the same friend that you got into a tiff with because we put that cheers to Bill O'Reilly getting fired.
Oh.
You got into it with him.
JL.
And when the whole Epstein thing happened a year ago, and they found him hanging in jail, my friend was, posted something about, oh, well, Clinton was involved in it, and I just said, jokingly, under the comments, I'm like, yeah, hey, how much you want to bet that Bill, Hillary, and Don were all into it together, to get to silence this guy? He goes, fuck you, watching fake news CNN, that's the problem with you. I'm like, whoa, buddy. Oh, I said, no.
Investigate all of them. You're like, the difference is, I don't care if they investigate
like,
Clinton.
I actually said, hey, sell down, Cupcake.
Yeah.
Cupcake. And he unfriended me.
Oh, you're no longer friends with JL?
Nope.
Oh.
No, he hates me now.
You really start to see a lot of who your real friends are.
Yeah.
When
Wasn't
shit hits the
he
fan.
your one friend that was always talking crap about the whole socialized medicine too, and had the wife that survived
that was
breast cancer on Medicaid?
That was a different one. He was
okay.
very anti-Bernie Sanders, but
his wife was a breast cancer survivor and got it paid for through Medicare.
And Medicare
Medicaid.
paid for her
Medicaid,
treatment.
yeah.
But he was against socialized medicine.
Okay, yeah. I thought it was the same person. Okay.
All right. Well, so I guess we've covered almost everything. This conspiracy thing, we could do several episodes on this.
Yeah, well, we have to get...
I don't think we really have to because everyone else is telling us what the facts are. So, I mean, we can just all sit back and watch it all unfold. I think we're all aware of what's the facts, Right.
We live in a day that there's no such thing as facts anymore.
That's how much we we put into conspiracy theories. I do think that there's like some underlying truth to maybe like one little point in each theory, because that's how they got that. But it just progresses and progresses and progresses, and it turns into like a
and maybe some of them are true. I mean,
yeah.
But what are we gonna do about it? We're gonna sit there on Facebook and be like,
well, that's what I was saying with the 9/11 people. I'm like, can you imagine if what you're saying was true? Can you imagine what would happen to the country?
Right.
It would be complete fucking chaos.
Right.
Because no one would ever again trust anything ever, and they would be like, fuck it, why am I...
Well, that's why, Mark Zuckerberg's the Antichrist. He really is.
He is. I don't Zuckerberg. Yeah.
But he did ban Alex Jones.
Oh,
he
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, he banned him?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, nice.
Alex Jones can't post it.
So that's why he's only on what, YouTube?
No, he's not even on YouTube.
Oh, what is he on? He has his own platform?
Infowars. I guess you have to go to Infowars.com.
I'll get that link from my mother-in-law later. I was gonna say, real quick, can we talk about Ellen?
Yeah.
What's going on with Ellen? Because I don't freaking know.
I don't know either. So if you have...
Apparently she's really difficult to work
I was told that, but then my mother-in-law's over here going, no, she's in that sex ring, and that's why COVID came out, and that's why all the celebrities are hiding.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what she thinks. And that's why she says that the country...
Do you have her number there? Let's get her on the phone.
No, I'm not going to do that.
We need to know what this conspiracy is.
She buys me nice birthday presents. I mean, come on. Don't put me on the spot. I have to benefit from this relationship at some point.
Why is it such a big deal if Ellen's difficult to work for?
Aren't we all?
It's not like she's the first diva.
No, when I read through a lot of the articles and stuff, they're like, Ellen got in her car and didn't even wave to me, and I'm a fan. I'm like, fuck you, I wouldn't wave to you either. Like, you're surrounded by fans all day. You have to run this.
Yeah, I mean, there have been a lot of knocks on Ellen lately, but I didn't really pay attention to it, to be honest. But
I've met some celebrities that were kind of dickish to me, but I was just like, yeah, I would hate to be bothered all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
I know.
If there's a reasonable explanation to that kind of thing. Like, they don't just cancel things like that because of, so, I mean, I do think there might be something else to it, but maybe she's just like, fuck you guys, you guys didn't talk shit about me behind my back, fuck you.
Right.
Well, I guess we'll know if, Ellen gets this podcast taken down.
Ellen, we met allegedly.
Allegedly.
We met allegedly.
I support Ellen because she's a humanitarian and she really does do as much as she can to help people.
I support her because she makes her guests come on and dance.
Yeah. Or she scares the crap out of them in the box. I love that.
The thing about her career, though, because she started as a stand-up comedian, and then she got her own sitcom, and then she made the very difficult decision to come out of the closet.
And she had a hard life. Her fiance died.
And then they canceled her sitcom after that, and then she reinvented herself and built herself up as the biggest daytime talk show out there right now.
Right.
So.
Well, her wife is a very popular actress, and I like her too. And they do a lot of like animal rights things and humanitarian things. So it's like, maybe she was a dick, but hey, who cares? Like, we all are.
I love Arrested Development.
I can be
Arrested Development's a good show.
Oh, I love that show.
I know.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna wrap this one up for now. We'll get this subject more. We have a little bit of homework for next week. Hopefully that turns out.
I know. I can't wait to read.
Yeah. Murder and Mayhem on the main street of America. Yeah, I noticed.
Okay.
I noticed. All right. So we have any final words from Alex Jones? Let's see. Is he still listening? Maybe not. Alex, you there?
Let's hope not.
Guess not.
Just saying.
It's all an illusion.
I guess Alex hung up. All right. Well, screw you, Alex Jones.
Okay, well, until next time.
Until next time, Iris, thank you for coming on.
Thank you guys.
All right, and we will see you next week.
Have a good weekend.
You'll hear us next week. You won't see us.